Very good morning to one and all. This is Srikanth, Assistant Professor AAA Department. So welcome to third class of power quality subject. So in the previous classes, we have seen what are the problems associated with the power quality and what are the broad classification of the power quality problems, its characteristics as well as its time period of each and every quantity. We have seen. So in this class, we are going to discuss the power quality problems in detail. So in the power quality problems, the first one is transient. So what is meant by the transient? See the definition of the transient. So transient is defined as an event that is undesirable and momentary in nature. It is a sudden change in our steady state operating condition to another. That means transient is nothing but it is undesirable and it is momentary in nature. That means it will come in a fraction of a second and it will go in a fraction of a second. Okay, momentarily. Suddenly increase in voltage, suddenly increase in current, sudden increase in the frequency, or etc. These are called as transients. Okay, so transients can be classified into two categories. The first category is impulsive, and the second category is oscillatory. So impulsive transient. And impulsive transients are nothing but a sudden non-power frequency change in the steady state condition of voltage, current, or both, that is unidirectional in polarity, either positive or negative direction. So impulse transient is nothing but it is a sudden non-power frequency change. It means non-power frequency means it is either harmonic frequency, third harmonic or fifth harmonic or seventh harmonic. Okay. So it is not fundamental, any non-power frequency harmonic except fundamental frequency. The other frequency harmonic transients are referred as impulsive transients. Okay. So it may be either voltage or it may be either current or it may be both voltage or current, but it is having a unidirectional polarity. Either the sudden increase in the positive magnitude or the sudden increase in the negative magnitude, which is referred as simply impulsive transient. Impulsive transients are normally characterized by their rise and decay times. Okay, so they rise as well as decay. So sharp or steep rise and decay also will be steep. Due to high frequency nature, the shape of impulsive transients may be changed quickly by circuit components and may have significant different characteristics when viewed from different parts of the power system. Okay, the shape may be different of the impulsive transients, as well as similarly characteristics also will be different from one part of the power system to the other part of the power system. Okay, they are generally not conducted far from the source. Okay, generally the impulsive transients occur very near to the source, not far away from the source. Impulsive transients can excite the natural frequency of power system circuits and produce oscillatory transients. Okay? The same impulsive transients can excite the natural frequency of power system circuits and produce oscillatory transients. Okay? If due to these impulsive transients, the natural frequency power system also will be disturbed and will produce oscillatory transients. So the examples for the impulsive transient is, here we can see lightning. Okay, a sudden lightning fall on the power line, okay, or the components of the power system. What will happen? Sudden increase in the magnitude of voltage or sudden increase in the magnitude of current. Only in particular direction, only either in positive or only either in negative, not but not both. Okay, that is important here. Okay. Second one, if you see the example, if you see the following shows a typical current impulsive transient caused by lightning. So when lightning falls on a power line, then we can see this is the waveform or the current caused by the lightning transients. Okay, if you observe clearly, at 0 microseconds, suddenly transient occurred, lightning occurred. Suddenly there is a drastic change in the magnitude of the current. Okay, from 0 to, see if you observe clearly, minus 23 kilo amperes. That means it is in the negative polarity. 23 kilo amperes, sudden increase. Okay, actuality may be very small. Okay, either 1 kilo ampere or 2 kilo amperes, etc. But when lightning occurred, suddenly it is jumping to 23 or 24 kilo amperes, and slowly within fractions, within the same time, 20, 40, 60, 80, up to 100 microseconds. Okay, so it is drastically reducing to a small value, that is 1 kilo ampere rated current. Okay, so the time interval from here to here, it is called as the time period of the lightning transient. So this is called as, okay, impulsive transient, sudden increase and it will vanish within a small time period. Okay, so after 100 or 120 milliseconds, okay, it will never repeat. It will completely vanishes and normal current will flow through the circuit. Coming to the second one, oscillatory transients. So if you see the oscillatory transient, an oscillatory transient is a sudden non-power frequency change in the steady state condition of voltage, current or both, that includes both positive and negative polarity values. It is also same. It is also a sudden change, non-power frequency change in the steady state condition of either voltage or current or both, but it includes both positive as well as negative polarities. That means the increase in the voltage and current may be not only in the positive polarity but also in the negative polarity. So both polarities will drastically change. So instantaneous values of oscillator transients changes polarity rapidly. Okay, so oscillator transients will change the polarity rapidly. That is here. So it can be classified into three types. The oscillatory transients are classified into three different types. The first one is high frequency transients. Second one, medium frequency transients. Third one, low frequency transients. So coming to the high frequency transients, these have frequency components greater than 500 kilohertz and a typical duration measured in microseconds or several cycles of principal frequency. That means the high frequency transients will vary from the frequency range from greater than 500 kilohertz and a typical duration measured in microseconds. Very small time period, but the frequency is very, very high, 500 kilohertz. Okay. Coming to the medium frequency transients, these have frequency components between 5 and 500 kilohertz with a duration measured in the tens of microseconds. In the previously just microseconds, but medium frequency means the frequency range is a little bit less than the high frequency transient, that is between 5 to 500 kilohertz. And its time period or duration also is less than the high frequency transient, that is approximately tens of microseconds. Okay. Coming to the low frequency transients, third one. These have frequency components less than 5 kHz and duration from 0.3 to 50 milliseconds. Low frequency transients, these are frequency components. So the frequency is very, very small here, that is less than 5 kHz, and duration is also very large, 0.3 to 50 milliseconds. Okay, duration of the low frequency transients are higher than that of the high frequency as well as medium frequency transients. Okay, the sources of this type of oscillator transients are back-to-back capacitor switching, transformer energization. Back-to-back capacitor switching, transformer energization. Okay, so one of the waveform for oscillator transients is shown in the figure. This figure shows oscillator transient caused due to back-to-back capacitor switching. Okay, if the capacitor is switched back-to-back, positive as well as negative. You can see here, this is the actual current, 0, just starting from 0. Actual current will be very small in amperes. But if you see, whenever the capacitor bank is switched suddenly, what happens is, so oscillations are coming in the positive way as well as oscillations are coming in the negative way. You can see here approximately 7,500 amperes is going in the positive as well as negative directions. Okay, so positive, negative. So if you see here, initially more oscillations as a time period increases. What happens as time increases? The oscillations will reduce. Okay, and after 10 to 12 milliseconds, the oscillations are completely vanished, and we can see the normal actual current wave. Okay, so between 0 to or 8 to 12 milliseconds, where the capacitor bank is switched, you can see the surge or transient both in the positive direction as well as in the negative direction. This is called as oscillatory transients. Okay, this figure shows impulse transients where the magnitude will increase only in a particular direction, either in the positive or negative direction, whereas oscillator transient, okay, the magnitude will change drastically or rapidly in both the positive as well as the negative directions. This is about transients. Okay. So coming to the next one, short duration voltage variations. So if you see the short duration voltage variation, that means within a small time, how the magnitude of voltage will change. Okay. That is called as short duration voltage variations. Okay, there is no rapid change like transient. Okay, with RMS values of voltage deviates for duration less than 1 minute, it is termed as long duration voltage duration. Okay, that means when the time period is more than 1 minute, that is called as long duration voltage variation. If the same time period is less than 1 minute, then the type of variation is known as short duration voltage variation. Each type of variation can be designated as instantaneous, momentary, or temporary, depending on its duration based on the time period. Okay. Again, the short duration voltage variations are also characterized as instantaneous or momentary or temporary. It may be categorized into the following types. The short duration voltage variations are categorized into the following types. First one is interruption. An interruption occurs when the supply voltage or load current decreases to less than 0.1 per unit for a period of time not exceeding 1 minute. The time period should be less than 1 minute. Okay, interruption, when we call it as interruption, means when the supply voltage or load current decreases to very small value, less than 0.1 means, so decreases to 0. When the voltage suddenly drops, when the current suddenly drops to a very low value, less than 0.1 pu, that means 10%, less than 10%. That is known as interruption. Interruption. Okay, the sources of interruptions can be the result of power system faults, equipment failures, and control malfunctions. These are the sources. It is majorly due to power system faults which are occurring, equipment failures, and control malfunctions. Okay, if the capacitor banks are not switched properly. Similarly, power system faults due to LG faults, LLG faults, triple L faults, etc. Equipment failures. Okay, any equipment, either transformer, okay, or transmission lines, etc. Any equipment fails, that comes under interruption. For the interruption, the time period should be less than 1 minute. Coming to the second one, sag or dips. A sag is a decrease in the RMS voltage or current between 0.1 and 0.9 per unit at the power frequency for a duration from 0.5 cycle to 1 minute. Sag is nothing but a small decrease in the voltage, or we can say dip. Right? Sag or dip, both are similar words. A sag is a decrease in the RMS voltage or current between 0.1 to 0.9. Okay, so actually we have to maintain the 1 per unit magnitude of the voltage or current. If there is a decrease in the voltage or a decrease in the current due to some factors, okay, the magnitude range from 0.1 to 0.9. Okay, if it is less than 0.1 per unit, that is called as an interruption. If it is in between 0.1 and 0.9 per unit, then it is called as a sag, either voltage sag or current sag, etc., which ranges for a duration of 0.5 cycle to 1 minute. 0.5 cycle to 1 minute. Maximum half cycle or maximum up to 1 minute. That is called as a voltage sag or voltage dip. Okay. Sources. Voltage sags are a result of system faults and also can be caused by energization of heavy loads or starting of large motor. Suddenly, a large motor is switched on. So suddenly the voltage starts decreasing. Suddenly, okay, there is a dip in the voltage. Okay. Energization of heavy loads. Heavy loads, if you apply suddenly, there is a drastic increase in the current, therefore drastic change in the voltage. That is called as a dip. Okay. So coming to the third one, swells. A swell is defined as an increase to between 1.1 and 1.8 per unit in the RMS voltage or current at the power frequency for duration from 0.5 cycle to 1 minute. Generally, it is also same time period, either sag or swell. It ranges from 0.5 cycles to 1 minute maximum, because the short duration time period itself is less than 1 minute. But swell means it is not decrease in the voltage, it is not decrease in the current, but it is instead increase in the voltage or increase in the current. Okay, so increase in the voltage or increase in the current between 1.1 and 1.8 per unit. If the voltage exceeds greater than the rated value, if the current exceeds greater than the rated value, that is called as swell. Okay, it ranges generally 10% to 80% increase in the voltage or current, 1.1 to 1.8. The sources are voltage swells occur from temporary voltage rise on the healthy phases during single line to ground fault. So when single line to ground fault occurs, what will happen? The voltage on the other phases, healthy phases, will increase. That is called as swell. Swells can also be caused by switching off a large load or energization of large capacitor bank. Suddenly switching off a large load, suddenly switching off of a large capacitor bank will increase the voltage or will make a voltage swell. So these are short duration voltage variations. So today, or in this class, we have discussed about transients. What is meant by transient? What is the nature of the transient? What are the categories of the transients, impulsive as oscillator. We have seen with examples and with the waveforms of these two, and then we have seen what is meant by short duration voltage variations and what are the different types of the short duration voltage variations. So in the next class, we'll discuss about the remaining power quality problems. Thank you, one and all.